This is good, actually. This is
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
You've got to ask the things that really matter.
Yeah, exactly. So
Who
before really you ask the question, who created God, you need to ask, why does God have to be created? And before you ask that question, you need to ask, who
Yeah.
needs to be created? Because obviously, all of us need to be created. All of us were born, we were brought into existence then. And when you look at all of the universe, it's very reasonable to say that, this originated, that, this was created, and there's, a cause behind that. And we talked actually about that last week, about, the origin of the whole universe. But if you imagine a thing that has existed eternally, it doesn't need to have a cause. And this goes actually for anything. So if you say that this pen has existed for all of eternity, that it has existed before any of us, this pen has just been, floating around in space forever, without a beginning. And then you could ask, who created this pen? Well, nobody, because it has always existed. This pen, eternally existing, doesn't need to be created. It just is, right?
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we can talk about the creation of the universe, of us, of the planets, because we know that there was a beginning of time. We know that the universe, came into being. But when we talk about God, we're talking about an eternal beings. And eternal beings don't need to be created, because they've always existed, and so there is no point of creation. There is no point in time when this being comes into being, because it's always been there, and whether it's within time or outside of time, it's not really applicable. So from this it follows, if eternal beings don't need to be created, then eternal beings don't need to be created.
But everything has to
And
be
then,
created, surely.
it's not really possible to say that, who created God, because as an eternal being, he didn't need to be created.
Well, we can't get our finite minds around it, really, can we?
No, that's what I was going to say, but
but
I'm
we-
really struggling.
Yeah.
No. It's like...
Yeah, that's right. It's very hard. It's very hard to get the idea of something that is eternal, always
It's
existing
beyond-
outside
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
because we're so bound by time.
Yeah.
Our whole lives are ruled by time, seasons, change.
And obviously something always has to have come from somewhere. So
Yeah.
Well,
But
yeah,
in,
but that's
in
only
eternity,
within-
yeah, that's only within our sort of time-bound
Parameter,
existence.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
outside of that, in a timeless existence, it's very hard to get your head around
is
that.
there such a
But
thing?
there is, yeah, we call it eternity.
Yeah, I believe, yeah, I
And
get that, I get that.
That is where
I
you
get
don't
that.
need, as Michael was saying, you don't need to have creation of things in eternal, because it's a timeless, everlasting.
Okay.
So
It's
could I do
It
a...
is mind-boggling.
Yeah, could I do
It
an
is.
analogy?
I'm sorry, I'm fascinated by
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no,
But
it's
That's
a
the
very
purpose of the
interesting.
Q&A.
Yeah,
It's a very interesting.
Yeah. So let me do an analogy.
Try and get your head around that.
Here, I draw a little man. Hi, this is Bob. All right. Okay. And here is a woman, because she has long hair, and she is
Wendy.
Liz.
Oh.
Sorry.
I'm Wendy from Bob the Builder.
All right. Yeah. So I can go on and draw these people, and they weren't drawn before, and now they're there. They're drawn. I am the drawer. Is that a word, by the way?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's right.
As an immigrant,
You know.
yeah. So
The artist.
I am the artist. Yeah, I'm the sketch artist, and I draw these beings into existence. Who drew me? Who took their pencil and drew me? Well, nobody.
You're not
You-
drawn, you're real.
Exactly. I'm not like
different.
them.
It's a
Exactly.
different.
I'm not
it's a whole
like
different-
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
different. You see?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
see? And it's the same thing with God. God created us, but God doesn't need a creator himself because he has always existed, and so he doesn't need a starting point. He had no starting point. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
there's no
Yeah, I
need
get
for
that.
somebody else to create him because
I think it'll take a few more sessions for me to.
oh yeah.
No, don't worry,
Yeah, of
Louise,
course,
don't
of
worry.
course.
Just-
Please don't think I'm
No,
this dumb. I'm
no,
not.
no,
I'm
not
quite
at all. You-
educated. I'm not
No,
thick.
Ask
yeah.
exactly what you want to do. That's
Yeah.
fine. You do that. That's no problem.
I am. I do. Yeah. You see, and this is the thing that I probably struggled with throughout my whole life, really. Because, like I was saying